Shaju, are we ready?
Yes,
Hello, everyone. Welcome again on the second session of day one of first online Scout Youth Forum 2020, organized by Crystal Open Scouts. And I'm sure that you all are eating for the next session because the next session will be take over Professor Muhammad Yunus, Nobel Laureate from Bangladesh. So we are you all in the second session of this program. So we are happily announcing our today's session lecturer. Uh, Let us unveil Professor Muhammad Yunus, the Nobel Peace Prize Laureate, views on the post-COVID-19 economy and his vision on social business created solely for the people's benefit, peoples of Bangladesh and all over the world. He is proudly a former scout from Bangladesh. So we will get the privilege to learn from him about his views and few question answer discussions on the subject matter. So the subject matter of today's session is world economy in post-COVID-19 situations. So this will help us to understand the situation of the economy of current world and post-COVID-19 situation. And we are thankful to INJAZ Al-Arab and Harvard Alumni Association groups from our region for sharing this knowledge and video with us. Thank you very much. So we are to and the conversation between the Nobel laureate and different Harvard alumni to understand the current economy situation of the world and what we are actually predicting in post COVID-19 situations. So you will understand the situation better and you can contribute in the recommendations better and that will be more feasible, we believe. So welcome who are actually listening to us from our Facebook page or YouTube channel. We are welcoming you all to our today's session two, and we will have so many things to learn from this session, I believe. So let's move. And by the way, this session actually will be hosted by one of the famous fintech women of the world and Harvard Alumni Association, Hala. So we are actually thanking Hala as well.
leader, and you're an economist who started in Bangladesh to reach the world with your ideas. And in 2006, as most of us know, you've been awarded jointly with the Grameen Bank the Nobel Peace Prize for your efforts through microcredit to create a from below. You created the Yunus Social Business Global Initiative to create and empower social businesses to address and solve problems around the world. And guess what? We have a big problem today, the coronavirus. And the solution seems to come, according to you, again, from social entrepreneurship. So in a recent op-ed, as Gulam mentioned, you explained how despite the massive damage caused to our economy, there's a huge work that lies ahead of us to actually change the world we're living in to a better world, and to avoid going back to the same frying pan, as you say, in the name of recovery, to do a tabula rasa and start from scratch and reinvent a more socially and ethically responsible world. It is our decision, as you say. It's our decision, but we all know human nature. So allow me maybe to challenge you a bit on this one and see how, despite all the flaws we know in human nature, this can be possible. And if I go back, Professor Yunus, to how the and microcredit was successful, you took a very different angle from the economists that think of that you're suggesting, and do a better world post this pandemic. I mean, it's because of inequality facing us. It's our opportunity to change. What's our motivation? Why will you do it?
Well, thank you, Hala, for giving the backdrop of the entire discussion today and being there to ask questions, clarify issues. And I'm very happy to be here. And today, not only we have the coronavirus going around, right now we are waiting super cyclone, which is going to hit us in Bangladesh in a few hours, about 5 hours. It's already hit all this. Now, just which everybody understands, no matter what kind of feeling you have, whether you're a greedy person, it's a burning house. Right? You don't need to question whether you're a trustworthy person, you're a greedy person, or what kind of thing. So that's the kind of way we have to get out of that house. And we didn't have to make much of house was decided by the coronavirus. The coronavirus itself. So there is no burning in that sense. So we are here. And the innocent question I'm asking again, not to relying on a particular human being or not, relying on the innocent question that I'm asking, if the corona crisis is over, shall we go to that burning house? Or should we build a new house for us, which will not be burning? That's an innocent question. You may say yes, you may say no, or you may say house is not burning as much as it used to. That's up to you. Should we go back to it? And my answer is we shouldn't, because the burning house is not the product of one. It's a long process has brought to this final stage of burning. And if you go back the way it was, it will be just finishing, just reaching the finishing line. The whole world will be over. And why should we do that? Why should we sort of commit suicide for ourselves? And whichever direction you are, whatever have or whatever feeling you have answered that question. So you have no escape. Either we go back or we take a new route to avoid that going back. And along the way, I've suggested some way how to make it. That's where the differences will come. That you would like to do the same world way. It will be something where you can only have convention we had. And then wealth concentration, that's also part of that world. And also massive unemployment through artificial intelligence. These are three measures. There are many others. These are three measures. So how to escape from it? I said one way to do that, create and introduce another kind of business into the system. A business which is designed to solve problems rather than make money. And it can be done by anybody who is running a business to make money. He can do that too. She can do that too. There's no problem. So you have two kinds of business, parallel business. One, you do business to make money, and another you do, and the one that you do for solving problems, that's a kind of a opposite to the conventional business. It doesn't maximize personal interest, which is the cornerstone of the business that we know. So we said this would be something zero personal interest. Zero personal interest. So you eliminate from your interest into that. You look at the global interest, common interest, so that you can focus on it. You bring all your creativity. But at the same time, you can run another business which you make money. So this is an opening of a door. It's not pushing anybody through the door. I said there is a door available. If you want to do that, these are the things can be done. And many businesses preferred that, chose that. So we created joint ventures, social businesses. Some of them did social business on their own. Some of them created social business, venture capital fund, and all this. So this is what I wanted to share and see. This is a chance. This will never be repeated in our history. But now we have a chance.
Is it just me, or have we lost Professor Yunus a bit?
I think we have. No, I'm already here. Are you? Is the voice gone?
Yeah, the voice was not just few seconds.
Oh, okay. Now I'm back.
Okay, so maybe I take this opportunity, Professor Yunus, to elaborate a bit on what you were saying. So let's assume that everyone on this call wants to push that door and doesn't want to return to the burning house. Do we need to convince others also that this is the right, and because many people are somehow in denial that the house is burning, or do we need just to starting our own social businesses and start this movement to enhance the world we're living in?
But there are always people with agreements and disagreements, but there's a tremendous amount of agreement on the side that the world was becoming uninhabitable before the coronavirus came in. So that's why all our teenage young children are demonstrating on the street all over the world, who never participated in a political or any other economic or social or environmental issue before. The first time they were on the street, and it's Fridays for Future and many such other things. So you see a whole new generation participating in it, and then many businesses facing this question. Governments are signing agreements, like Paris Agreement, to stop that and slow it down. So there's a vast amount of consensus on that one. It's not something some group of people screaming in one corner of the world. It's not like that. So I would say this is the time to remind that this is a grand opportunity. Let's take it, grab it, because it is like a situation, it's like something like that. Suddenly, an earthquake has taken place. A city which was existing, functioning, collapsed. And everything, every building, every standing thing is now on the floor. It's all gone. Now we want to start again. Should we rebuild it as it was? Or build it now that we have opportunity? This gives us an opportunity to build it completely new way and avoid all the mistakes that we made in the previous construction of the building and so on. So this is the drawing attention. Many people who are on the fence may also be now interested. Yes, now that it's all gone, let's do it differently. So that's why sharing this idea is very important, and let each individual answer whichever way they did, and it's all individuals will solve this problem. Government will be the secondary force, but the primary force is in like you and me, my friends, your friends, together. If each of us start behaving that we don't want to go back and reorganize our life accordingly, then the world will change. That's the point. Is that individuals all around the world is the most powerful force. They bring their creativity, they bring their intense desire to make sure their children have a life, to make sure their grandchildren will have a life of this life. Rather than grandchildren never see the day of their life.
Professor Yunus, if I may, so for your call to have an impact on the world, we need to scale all those initiatives in social entrepreneurship that we're doing, and you're quite ambitious in your op-ed in describing this. You want businesses and venture funds and governments to join the rally of social entrepreneurship and solving problems through social businesses. Is there an underlying education problem behind this to be able to scale and have the skills to do that? And how much, it would be much easier to have an impact and scale if governments were on our side. I mean, you mentioned the Paris Accord and the Paris Treaty for the environment, but is this really enough? How do we put government on our side, and how do we educate these young people on social businesses and how to start and scale social businesses?
Everything has to start simultaneously. It's not waiting for one or the other. It will happen spontaneously and simultaneously. Some will be slow, some will be fast. But that one page that I'm trying to draw attention to is that this is very special circumstances where everything is collapsed. So out of your necessity, you can build something. So you're not just sitting there and watching anymore, because you have to build. You have no escape from that. Either you are back or you are finished. So what is it that you want to build? And the point of emphasis is in normal, quote unquote, normal situation, when everything was functioning, I was trying to do something, when this is something else. Say whatever would take probably 10 years, 20 years to build in a normal situation. Today you can build the whole thing in a year or two, because you start from the tabula rasa. That's the issue. That's the point. There's nothing exists. So you start existing out of nothing. Then it has tremendous amount of opportunities. I want everybody to realize that you can achieve the greatest thing in the shortest time, because the crisis is the deepest. The deepest of the crisis may give you the brightest of the ideas and quickest of the solution. So those are the solution points. Yes, their government will be needed, but government is not the one that will solve the problem. It's the citizens, individuals who will solve the problem. Government will play the supportive role, the role of making things happen as the citizens want them to do it. So I would say the secondary position of that. And I talked about the role of the government because no matter what happens, government play a role of restarting this engine. Whether they will build a new engine or start the old engine, this is a decision point. I said, don't start the old engine, go back to the old place and create the same mess. Why don't you create a new engine? And it's easy, it's not difficult. And it's here you'll have all the people behind you. You're not alone. It's not everybody waiting for government action. Government action will be needed, financing, and also starting the bailout packages. Here I say you have a choice now. Because when you have a bailout package, how do you give these bailout packages to big companies, enterprises, and so on? Who do you give it to? That's a question you can solve right now when we are waiting for the restarting or starting it, building a new engine. Do you give this money to fossil fuel, for example? All your bailout money because of the big loss of the fossil fuel? I would say no. Why should you spend a penny of it if you want to build a new world? So this is a decision of big. So not doing. If you don't pay a penny in a fossil fuel, revival of the fossil fuel. If they want to revive themselves, go ahead, let them do it. I'm not going to stop them yet. Someday I will. But today I'm not going to mess around with them. Let them revive themselves. But government will not play any role in helping them. So similarly, the plastic industry and coal industry or whatever other things which is causing all the problems, and industries which are burning the forest, miles and miles of forest in Amazonia and other places, just to have big profit out of burning the forest, preparing them for producing soybean or cattle feed, something like that. We don't want to pay a penny, rather we will be making sure that we put checkpoints on the way towards the new world, that only the kind of businesses which is commensurate with the new world economy, they will be the checking point. If you are not the kind of business which is you can get certified, only then you can security checkpoint. So this is the kind of issues that I'm facing. How you design those security checkpoints, you know better than anybody else. Everybody knows how. It's a clean start from that. And we make sure we create a new financial system, for example. The financial system is a guilty partner, which created all the mess here, all the global warming and all that, wealth concentration and artificial intelligence and everything. So how do we design that? I said one option is you start creating social business financial institutions. That's where you talk about the main bank, microcredit, and all these examples of social business, venture capital funds, social business, investment capital funds, social business, insurance funds, insurance companies, and so on. These are examples already existing. Simply now that government has a huge amount of money to push in that direction, I said, well, it should do that. Then make these venture capital funds and social business investment fund, finance them so that they can start buying the old companies which are now bankrupt. You'll be giving the owners money to revive them. I said, instead of giving the owners to revive them and to make more money, why don't you put it into investment fund, social business investment, and so that they can start investing in it. So those companies will be revived, which are good companies, but now owned partially by people who are not interested in making profit. So that will be the tremendous we are making by the government actions that we have. So these are the issues that I have raised. There are plenty of opportunities, and I emphasize the fact that my voice is not the only voice. Your voice is as good as my voice. You come up with ideas how to do that. I gave my experience. I have a long experience on that. I put it on the table, and I invite everybody to put it on the table so that we don't go back. That's the critical point that we want to make sure. Again, I'll stop.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Yunus. Before I open up to questions and hand it over to Gulam, I had a quick question. We have a number of people to hear from the financial industry, people who to this mess. And let's say, and let's assume I'm one of them because I run a venture capital fund. Argue that I did less harm than others. The way to do business. How do we start? What do you suggest I do on Monday when I go back to work and want the way I used to do business?
May I ask? Closer.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you come closer to your mic?
Me?
Professor Yunus, can you come closer to your mic?
The voice difficult, then I can put on some another device to make it easy. Just a second, let me put it. See if this is better anyway. Is it any improvement? Okay, good. All right, that I'll use
so what do I do on Monday?
On Monday, it's a very simple thing. You've been running venture capital fund. You think about creating a parallel venture capital fund, social business venture capital fund, where you'll be investing money to people, not to make money for yourself. Venture capital is always, like any other business, want to make money. Of course, that's what their objective is. Here, your objective is different. Your objective is to support and invest in businesses which are doing good to the people on the planet, exclusively solving a problem of environment, like they are trying to stop the Amazon fire. So they have created a company to stop the Amazon fire. A beautiful idea, and you invest in that. This will be the purpose of this particular branch or particular subsidiary of your venture capital fund. This will be social venture capital fund, which is totally different from your conventional business that you do. You run it. I'm not stopping that, but you have now started getting some experience. That investment fund will go as equity to unemployed young people. Unemployed young people who are looking for a small amount of money to start their business so that they can become entrepreneurs. Because all young people are invited, always are told, always advised to get a job. And if they can't get a job, remain unemployed, they become a guilty party. You don't have employment, it's your fault. Actually, it's not his fault. It's a society's fault. It's a fault of the idea of the very concept of the employment. He or she is very good as entrepreneur, but that's what the human beings are. But no financial institution will ever give a penny to make the start of an individual young unemployed person to start his tiny business. So you can do that. This is another thing, because lots of people coming from the corona crisis will be jobless people and people who don't have any income left. So this is where your social business venture capital fund can start. So this is one idea that you can start with. And similarly, you can see whether a social business is trying to start doing things and how to make this social business venture capital fund effective in creating healthcare program, for example, because of they are coming from the healthcare crisis out of the corona. So design a business. They are designing a business to address the healthcare, to reach out to the people who are not reached by conventional either public healthcare, they cannot reach them. They are not able to reach them, or the commercial healthcare, they cannot reach them. So there are lots of unreached people. But it's something can be done. There are charity hospitals, there are charity, but the charity is something runs out of money. You continuously keep on raising money in one direction. I said there's another part. It's not raising money for giving charity, but raising investment funds. One you as a social business. One you design it as a social business hospital, social business healthcare program, then it earns the money back again. Not for making any profit for anybody, but to recycle the money again so that you can go on and expand with the surplus that you generate in your system. When we have done many of them, like digital we run now, the hundreds of thousands of people, to 5 million people are our clients in Bangladesh, and they can 24 hours, 7 days a week, so 24 hours a day. Anytime you want to call, you can call, and you get immediate call service because there is a call center of doctors, professional doctors sitting in the call centers, taking your phone calls on the clock and advising you, sending you your prescription via SMS and all that. And once you get the prescription, if you need the medicine, there is a parallel service within the digital health, which the medicine at your doorstep. You can pay digitally and so on. So there are varieties of ways. I'm just giving some examples.
Thank you. I mean, Roger, as pilots say, message received. We'll start working on that.
All right.
I can see a huge flow of questions in the chat area here, so I'll hand over to Gulam to give the floor to some of our guests to ask you questions directly. Thank you so much.
Right. Thank you, Hala.
Thank you, Hala. And thank you, Professor Yunus. As always, it's inspiring and motivating. And Hala says, what do I do on Monday? I will tomorrow morning. It's Thursday. We still have one day in our week here, and we'll start. We have a number of questions from different participants, and of course, because of a time limit, we cannot ask everyone. But we have throughout the session here selected 4 or 5 questions. If you have time, okay, it's about 15 minutes.
Let's try.
Yeah, so let's try that. I'll start by calling Brit Sakata, who raised an interesting question. And Brit, if you Alma, if you can unmute Brit, please.
Hello.
Great. Yes.
And welcome everybody.
The sound is very low and inaudible.
Maybe we could hear back here.
So
Can you relay the question? Somebody who's listening, can you relay?
if you don't mind, Brit, if you don't mind, I'll go to a similar question that was raised by Gada. Usman asked Gada to ask her question, which is a similar question to yours, Brit.
Hi, Dr. Yunus, and thank you.
Hi, hello.
You hear me?
You're fine, completely.
Thank you for arranging such an insightful session. I would just like to ask, for such a move, we need a kind of leader. We cannot just leave it without a clear roadmap and who's doing what. In your opinion, who should lead such a move and initiative to real life?
Well, be a leader in your community, because if you're inspired by the idea and you know what you're talking about, what you want to do it, and you can find out who is doing more than what you do in the social business direction or whatever direction that you want to go. And we have gatherings. We have always June 27, 28, 29 every year. We hold a social business day. We bring everybody who is doing the social business and in finance and healthcare and plastic, in sports, every direction. So they come. There are big businesses, there are tiny businesses, there are individuals, activists, fund investors, and so on. So this is a gathering. So you get to know people who is doing of your interest. So if you're a sports person, you'll be looking for all the sports people transforming the sports world into a social business direction. Some of them designing like the Olympic in Paris Olympic 2024. They will be there in this gathering. They will explain to you how Olympic can be a social business. They have a €7 billion budget for the Paris Olympic. Their decision was, when finally Paris was chosen for the venue, the decision was every penny of the €7 billion will be used for purposes, the social business consciousness. If it doesn't make social business sense, or if it doesn't social or environmental sense, they will not pay a penny. So how do you design such a thing? And they're doing that. This in the process. They bring their expertise, they explain things. So you hear, you may agree, you may disagree, but you get your own ideas. And people who are doing in the field of healthcare, they will be there. Right? If you're talking about creating a social business pharmaceutical company to produce vaccine, because the vaccine has become a product of windfall gains. Everybody wants to make big money out of it. I said, no, vaccine should be global public good. Nobody should monopolize it. It should be shared by all the people. Anybody can produce it. And we want to produce it as a social business and make sure that everybody gets it. So we are inviting people to come and join us to create social business pharmaceutical company to produce vaccines and health medicines, where we don't want to make profit out of it. It's a question of life. So this is not a question of making money out of it. So we create social business. I'm not pushing you out of business, but I'm creating a new business and be your competitor and work together in the same market. And we want to bring it to people who need it, the remotest place and the cheapest possible price and a good quality and so on and so forth. You interact with those people. There's a whole community waiting there. And if you are interested, we can introduce some of those communities to you, even get in touch with them and see what's happening. And in our website, lots of information are also available.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Yunus. And the next question would be coming from Karim Dervas, who also is from the floor. So Karim, mic is to you.
Yeah, thank you, Gulam. My question was around post-COVID-19. A lot of businesses, probably in the SME field, will be focusing on optimizing their resources to kind of save their business. How does one balance this new reality while still advancing social initiatives?
Yeah, everybody will be trying their own way. There will be profit-making businesses. There will be impact investment, there will be social entrepreneurs and so on. There will be social enterprises. There are many different names. But the conventional business is 100% focused on maximization of profit. So this is one extreme. Social business is on the other extreme. They don't want to make any profit. It's a zero personal profit. So maximization of personal profit is one end, zero personal profit is another end. So between these two ends, there are varieties of efforts which come in to mix social interest with personal interest. So they want to make money at the same time, want to do some good thing to people. So they compromise on the profit side. They are not maximizers of the profit. They are kind of a combination of profit plus doing social things. So all of them will be active. Everyone will be trying to get out of the problems that they have, how to overcome the problems created by the coronavirus. But my point is, whatever you do, please don't take the world to the old destination, old path, which is a disaster path. Find a new way where you know that your business will be totally social consciousness driven business. You'll not, meaning that you'll not harm the planet in your business. You'll not harm the people through your business. So if it is harming the climate, you should change yourself, modify yourself, get rid of those parts of the pieces that you have in your business which impacts negatively on the climate, and then clean yourself up. This is the cleaning process that you have to do. If you're harming people by producing food stuff or something which is not good for them, stay away from it. You don't have to. You don't need to continue old way. Now it's a cleaning process. You sharpen it, make sure that you are not harmful in any way in your business. So those are the kind of things. No matter which part of that range spectrum of business you are, whether you're a maximizer of profit, or you are in the zero personal profit, or you're in between here, you find a way, whatever business you are, that you make your own inspection methodology, how to inspect it, and how to make sure you get rid of all those things that you didn't pay much attention before. Now you pay attention. That's all I'm saying. Pay attention that you are not contributing to global warming. You're not contributing to wealth concentration. You're not contributing to unemployment.
Thank you.
Another question of a different type from Dania. So Dania is talking about smart cities, which will be hubs of development within countries that are poorly governed. Dania, if you want to ask your question, please.
Yes, thank you, Ghulam, and thank you, Professor. This is the second time I see you, and you're so impressive and so inspiring. You're just amazing. Professor, I just want to tell you, I'm not in business. Actually, I'm a political scientist. I work on a project with UNESCO for the National Agenda for the Future of Syria. I want to ask you about a concept which we are looking into it, which is charter cities, which means a country like Syria, basically the economy, there's no economy. And, for example, Syria will be struck by COVID anyone else, more than any other country. How about starting something called charter cities, where you delegate a swath of land to a private entity?
Equally important to me. My importance is to the individual, not the city. City is a creation of individuals. Focus on the individual, wherever you live. I'm with you. Make sure you bring your creative power. You change the world yourself. Somebody else doesn't have to change it for you. So that's it. And when you do that, you make sure you're taking a path where you are not harming the climate. You're not adding to the global warming. You're not adding to the wealth concentration. You're not adding to unemployment issue and so on. So those are the issues that I want to say. These are the things that you have to address, no matter what. And then if it's a profit-making company, I'll advise you what it is. Effort is good. I'm not opposed to that. In the effort to make profit, are you harming anybody? Okay. Are you pushing us back into the old world to create all those problems all over again? And then we go to the same frying pan that I was referring to. That's my question. Are you helping me the smartness in changing people's life, in changing the planet's life, then that's the real smartness for me. Thank you. Thank you.
The next question comes from a strong finance professional who says, all of this is good, I like it, and my heart is with you, but I have to serve capital. I work with funds, I work with...
Professor Yunus, this is an absolute pleasure to get a chance to interact with you. You're very inspiring, and the work you've done is something that has inspired me a lot in the fund that we created about 14 emerging markets to serve the people at the bottom of the pyramid. I have to confess, we ran it for profit, but we ran it with the motive, we are doing business to do good. So the question was, do good business to do good at the same time. And the question I have for you is that we're talking about something that, and please, at the risk of sounding contrarian, almost sounds utopian, because we're dealing with individuals here, we're dealing with the whole social system and a bunch of incumbents that obviously work towards squeezing out any such insurgents who bring in a purpose of goodness into business. And the point is, any business to succeed must make adequate profit to pay for talent, to pay for marketing, to pay for inclusion, to pay for innovation, and to pay for retention of people, because we're in a place of, or we're in a world of constant change. So how practical is this to be able to back individual human behavior on one side, which is intrinsically seeking greater and greater returns without purpose? Sometimes I fully agree with you. On the other system, which is the corporate system, which is greedy in its own way and driven by a combination of stakeholders. With respect to where the dollar return goes in the world, everyone wants 18% return year on year and year, which is not possible. So I'm not saying I support it. I agree with what you're saying, but do help me understand how practical this is to be able to make the third pillar, that is us as human beings, as community, to be able to think about this change and survive in this big bag world of incumbents and behavior. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. You raised a very important question, because most of the people are in a position like you, working in an environment where you feel not as enthusiastic because your mind wants to do something else, but there's no opportunity for that. So gradually you'll see the opportunities emerging, because many people are moving in and you can join in without feeling hesitation, and convenient chances, opportunities are opened up for you. I just want to clarify one thing in your statement. You say people have to be paid, you want to attract the talents, you have to retain those people, and so on and so on. Social business have no contradiction on that. Social business doesn't hesitate in paying people. We want to make sure we get the best talent with the best salary in the market. We are not saying that you come and do free job for us. We want the best talent, and we pay the best remuneration for you. So our people, the best accountant, best IT guys, best CEO, is not the question of salary. Salary is just as good or even better. It's all we're raising is a question of profit. If I'm running this company, am I running this company to make money for myself? No, I'm saying in my company, I'm not running it to make myself rich. I've created this company to solve the problem of healthcare for the people who do not receive any healthcare from any source. So I want to create a healthcare program. I create the possible, best technologies possible, best facilities possible, and pay them and create this business and help that I wanted to help. And I earn enough from my business so that I can cover all the costs. That's the key. It's not a charity organization. That's a financially sound organization. People love to pay the money that I charge, and it's a reasonable amount for them. Because I'm not out. So whatever surplus is generated is plowed back into the business. That's what the social business is. The second point I wanted to make, what you can do, you have a fund, run your businesses. Usually what we say that each company say we have CSR money. People don't mind giving CSR. 1%, it's okay. My profit 1%, I gave. So no person, no owners kind of hesitate that. This is a kind of becoming standard. In India, they made it a little bit more formal. They put it 2%. 2% of the profit should go in. That's fine, no problem. My question is, how do you use your CSR money? That's my question, not how you run your own company. Now that you have given it out, perfect. I want a money maker. I'm a greedy person. Everything else. But I give my 2%, I give my 1%, and give it away. So my question is, why don't you use this money instead of giving a charity, writing a check for an NGO to do the job? Do it yourself. Use this money as an investment to a business, your business, but not to make money for yourself. You already given it away. So this money is retained by you. It's company, it belongs to you, but you create a healthcare program, you create an employment generation program, you created a housing program, you created a water program, whatever it is. That's the business you want to solve people's this problem. And this company is a sustainable company. You are a very smart person. You designed it beautifully, and you get your money back. You plow back into the business, and the next year you give another chunk of money as a CSR. It adds to that. It doesn't disappear. It becomes bigger. But CSR money disappears. It is not retained. So I'm giving an idea that living it the way you do, you can do a lot. And also, many people donate money to other people for public relations, whatever it is. Instead of donating, invest in a social business. Say, I do the water program here so that people don't have to drink polluted water. Then this is your good publicity for yourself. But publicity purpose. You created genuinely to solve the problem because you don't want any money back from that business. You want you see, in social business, you get your investment money back. But you don't get after that, you don't get any profit, brought back into the business. And third point I want to make, you've done a big business. Can you, if it is a fund, find a kind of a fund where many people invest in your fund, all your people who are investing money in your fund, would you please spare 1% of this fund where you will not get any profit out of it? Rest of 99% of your shares, you get profit. But in 1%, you'll not get your profit. You isolate that money. People say, okay, 1% is all right. And you're not giving away your right of ownership of that 1%. Only the profit that you make, you don't get the profit. So you take this money for all 1%, and create a social business and run it. So that's obligation. This is free, and then you can run it the way you want to solve people's problem. It's an idea, the burning idea in your mind, how to solve the problem. It's a problem of education, healthcare, water, sanitation, housing, we name it. There's so many problems. So you can tiny little business runs very well, and you can inspire so many other people to do that. So this is there. If I want to do that, I can do it in so 101 ways of doing it. Retaining what I do without challenging my daily routine work.
Thank you, Dr. Yunus.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Professor Yunus, I know we're running over time right now, but I have two more questions if you allow me, or at least
go ahead. Let's do that.
Quickly. Thank you very much. So one is from Barbara Schmidt-Rahmer.
Hi, Barbara.
Alma, can you unmute Barbara, please?
Right. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear
Okay,
you.
great. Hi, yes. This is really inspiring session, and I'm really glad we have so many Harvard-related. I don't know if it's really a question or a comment. I think to go
anyway.
further, this 1% idea from funds, which I think is fantastic. And I'm just actually creating a fund here, which funds in Brazil what I call community venture funds. It's a little bit different from microcredit in that these are funds run by communities. So I would go one step further. One is for us, or you, the fund managers, to start a fund. Another one is to, link up with people like, myself and others who are actually working at the base of the pyramid. One of the things I'm finding in the large foundations and philanthropy is often the kind of things that get funded are very much from the head and the ideas of the
top when a lot of the solutions, as you know yourself, Grameen is an example, come from the bottom. I mean, these entrepreneurs in the poorest areas are incredibly resourceful and creative, and we need to invest in their ideas because they know, where in their reality where they live, what the solutions are. So we need to put together our know-how, but also value their know-how, which is already there but needs funding to go and thrive. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, creating a social business venture capital fund, where you'll be focusing on the people that you just mentioned that are at a very low level of income, low level of existence, struggling with their life, but filled with lots of creative ideas. But the system doesn't help them. The system doesn't have anywhere near. So you create the fund, finally a system works for them. The resources are available to them. You make the resources available and they get a chance in their life. And then they take it from there. They become successful entrepreneur and you be with them and so on. So this is an excellent idea that we do. By the way, in Brazil, there's a company that we created called Yunus Social Business. So they have been working there for several years now. And many universities in Brazil have created Yunus Social Business Centers. So I would like you to get connected with them to find out what they're doing. Does it make sense to you? Because you're living in the same city where they work and see what they're doing. So I'll be very happy that you can. Also, we are trying to do something about the Amazonia forest, how to transform part of Amazonia forest as a social business. So that we retain that Amazonian forest, make sure it can grow, it's safe, others cannot intrude into it. Those people who are burning it, you lead your weapons back. Here we work together to make sure this piece of Amazon becomes a green Amazon, uninterrupted by any intervention of destroying them. And the people who live there will have the best of life possible. And animals who live there will have a protected life for themselves. So let's work together. Maybe you're doing something we don't like somewhere else, but here we are friends. We can do something different, and you will enjoy doing it. So we're starting the process now.
Good, thank you. Next question is from our friend Tariq Qureshi, who believes in abundance, no restrictions. Tariq?
Yes, Professor Yunus, absolute honor and privilege to be with you.
Thank you.
Hi. Professor, I am a great believer in abundance. In this, when you look up in the sky, you see solar energy that can produce free energy, can give us lots and lots of opportunities. So there are two-part question, and one of them is that the top 5 to 10 companies will represent over 50% of the total capital value in the companies. When they are making so much money, if we rather than take 1%, take an honest contribution for every single transaction done by a robot, run by automation and AI, and transfer a portion of that, which will be way more than 1%. And the marginal cost for them to do it is almost nil. There's not even capital, it's a service, it's a platform. And this can start to create abundance for solar energy, it can start creating for things like that. So, what I'm saying,
the question quickly, please.
The question, yeah. So the question is, can we create a platform, which perhaps you should lead, Professor Yunus, is an abundance platform where we get all of these people to come in behind this kind of governance structure and give them marginal cost and give technology and services more than just money?
Yes, it's possible. But my role that I see is not the fundraiser of that type. I give ideas to people. I don't raise money. I go to people, for example, super rich people, talk to them and tell them that, look, you already signed the giving pledge. There are, I think, 186 billionaires in the world who signed the giving pledge. So maybe his number is increased by this time. So there's lots of billions of dollars stuck there. So they already decided to give it. Some has given 100% of their wealth already, like Mark Zuckerberg. 99% he has given up his shares to a charity. So those kind of things. As I'm asking, what are you making use of that? Charity is is a traditional thing. It works for something, but it doesn't change the system. So why don't you invest this money? Make it social business investment fund so that people can invest out of your money and create companies. You yourself can do that. You create your social business funds. You invest. You instead of putting it in a charity fund, you create